The idea of getting around on a flying car seems possible only in the distant future. But in China, that reality may not be so far away.
In China, a stunning futuristic building has just been revealed, and it left American engineers completely amazed. From its unique design to its groundbreaking engineering, everything about it feels ahead of its time. What secrets are hidden inside this structure? Why are experts calling it revolutionary? Join us as we uncover the truth behind it. China's sky-breaking giants. We begin by breaking the first and most basic rule of skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are meant to rise straight up into the sky. They are designed to stand tall and vertical. That is the standard across the world. But in Chongqing, that rule was not followed. Building upward was considered too ordinary. So instead of only going higher, they chose to stretch across the sky itself. In the city of Chongqing, they created something called the Crystal. This is not a normal tower. It is a horizontal skyscraper that lies across 4 other skyscrapers. It stretches 300 meters in length and rests 820 feet above the ground. It does not stand straight up like other towers. It floats across them like a massive bridge in the sky. Visually, it is shocking. At first glance, it does not even look real. It appears like a spaceship that crashed into the city and remains suspended in place. The structure looks almost impossible. Its position alone makes people stop and stare. It challenges everything people expect from tall buildings. But the true wonder is not just how it looks. The real power of this project lies in its engineering. The horizontal bridge weighs 12,000 tons. That is an enormous weight to suspend high above the ground. Supporting such a structure requires extraordinary design and planning. It cannot simply sit on top of the towers without protection against movement. The 4 towers beneath it are tall and flexible. Like all skyscrapers, they move slightly in strong winds. They can also shift during earthquakes. If the horizontal structure were fixed tightly in place, even a small movement could cause cracks or serious damage. To prevent this, the engineers installed an advanced seismic isolation system. This system allows the horizontal skyscraper to slide gently on giant bearings. These bearings act as protective supports. Instead of resisting movement, they allow controlled motion. If the towers sway because of wind or seismic activity, the crystal can adjust without breaking. This design keeps the structure stable and safe. It transforms what could be a dangerous weakness into a smart engineering solution. Inside this massive glass tube, there is far more than empty space. The interior is filled with life and activity. There are gardens that bring greenery into the sky. There are swimming pools placed high above the city streets. There are observation decks where visitors can stand and look down through transparent floors. These clear sections of flooring allow people to see directly beneath their feet, creating a thrilling experience. The structure connects the towers as if they were giant building blocks. It links them together in a simple yet powerful way. Instead of separating the towers, it unites them. The design turns multiple buildings into one connected form. It truly becomes a city in the sky. The crystal represents a bold idea brought into reality through precision and courage in design. Now we move from Chongqing to another city in China, where imagination also shaped architecture in a powerful way. If a city is going to build the headquarters for a World Science Fiction Awards ceremony, it cannot choose an ordinary building. It must create something that reflects creativity and futuristic vision. That is exactly what happened with the Chengdu Science Fiction Museum, designed by Zaha Hadid architects. The building does not resemble a traditional museum. Instead, it looks like a starship resting above the ground. From a distance, it appears like an aluminum nebula floating over a lake. When viewed from above, the design reveals something even more impressive. There is not a single straight line in the entire form. Every surface flows into the next. The building feels alive with movement. It has curves that twist and expand outward in smooth patterns. Nothing feels rigid or stiff. Everything feels fluid. The beauty of this museum is not only in its shape, the way it was created is equally remarkable. The design process used parametric design. In this method, the architect does not draw every line by hand. Instead, they program algorithms that generate the structure. These algorithms follow mathematical rules. They calculate the best possible form based on performance and efficiency. This approach allowed the team to optimize the roof carefully. The structure was shaped to capture sunlight in a precise way. It also allows natural ventilation to flow through the building. Every curve and surface was shaped with mathematical accuracy. This means the design is not random or purely artistic. It is guided by data and calculation. The building blends smoothly with the waters of Jinggrong Lake. Its reflective surfaces interact with the lake's calm water. The museum does not dominate its surroundings. Instead, it feels connected to them. The structure appears almost liquid, as if it grew naturally from the landscape. Walking through the corridors of the museum creates a unique experience. The flowing walls and ceilings surround visitors in smooth curves. The space feels organic. The structure resembles the skeleton of an alien creature, but it remains elegant and balanced. It creates a sense of wonder without feeling chaotic. Another impressive fact is the speed of construction. The museum was completed in just 12 months. For a project of such geometric complexity, this speed is extraordinary. Buildings with this level of detail and curved surfaces normally require many years to finish in Europe or America. Completing it within 1 year shows strong coordination, advanced technology, and efficient planning. Both the Crystal in Chongqing and the Chengdu Science Fiction Museum represent a new direction in architecture. They reject ordinary forms and challenge traditional limits. One stretches horizontally across the sky, breaking the vertical rule of skyscrapers. The other removes straight lines completely, embracing curves and fluid motion. The inverted skyscraper and the Jade Ring. Around the world, countries compete to build higher and higher towers. Each new skyscraper tries to rise above the last one, reaching closer to the sky. Height has become a symbol of power, progress, and ambition. But in China, one project chose a completely different direction. Instead of climbing upward, it reached down. Instead of touching the clouds, it moved toward the Earth's core. This bold idea gave birth to the world's first Earth scraper. This inverted skyscraper was created inside an abandoned quarry that was 88 meters deep. The site had once been toxic and forgotten. It was a scar in the land, a deep wound carved into the ground. Rather than covering it or ignoring it, designers transformed it into something remarkable. They built a luxury hotel directly into the cliff face of the quarry. The building does not rise above the ground in the usual way. It descends into it. The engineering behind this project is extraordinary. Constructing a building downward is very different from building upward. Gravity works against you in unexpected ways. The team had to invent completely new systems to pump concrete downward into place. Traditional construction methods were not enough. Every step required fresh solutions and careful planning. The goal was not only to build safely, but also to protect the structure from nature. Heavy rains created another serious challenge. A quarry can easily collect water, especially during storms. Without protection, the hotel could have flooded. Engineers developed systems to prevent this from happening. They designed ways to control water flow and keep the structure secure, even during intense rainfall. This careful planning ensured that the building would remain stable and dry. At the bottom of the quarry lies an artificial lake. The final 2 floors of the hotel sit beneath the surface of this water. Guests who stay in these rooms do not look out at birds flying across the sky. Instead, they look at fish swimming calmly in the lake. The experience is completely unique. It changes the way people think about space, height, and perspective. Sleeping below water inside a cliff is something few buildings in the world can offer. Beyond its bold design, the project stands as a powerful example of ecological recovery. The quarry was once a damaged and polluted space. It represented harm done to the land. Now, it has become an architectural gem. The building does not fight against its surroundings. It works with them. The natural rock of the quarry is used to provide geothermal energy for heating. This means the structure draws warmth from the earth itself. What was once a wound has become a place of comfort and beauty. It proves that in China, even the ground is not a limit. If the inverted skyscraper challenges ideas about height, another structure challenges ideas about shape. In Guangzhou, Italian architect Joseph di Pasquale designed a building that breaks away from the traditional tall tower. Instead of creating another straight and narrow form, he designed a giant circular structure. This building, often called the Jade Ring, stands 138 meters tall. It is the tallest circular building in the world. The shape is bold and unforgettable. From a distance, it looks like a massive donut rising along the riverbank. Its form resembles an ancient Chinese coin, a symbol deeply connected to history and culture. The circular design is not just for appearance. The large opening in the center is structural. It plays a key role in supporting the building. This opening measures nearly 50 meters in diameter. Creating such a vast circle at this scale required careful engineering. The true magic appears when the building is reflected in the Pearl River. When the circular structure meets its reflection in the water, the The two shapes combine to form a perfect 8. In Chinese culture, the number 8 represents luck and prosperity. The building does not simply stand as a piece of architecture. It becomes a living symbol of fortune and success. Its placement by the river allows this symbolic effect to happen naturally. The exterior of the structure adds to its beauty. It features a double copper skin that shines warmly in the light. At sunset, the surface glows like gold. The reflection in the river becomes even more striking during this time. The building appears both strong and elegant, modern yet connected to tradition. Constructing a circular building of this height is extremely complex. Straight towers distribute weight in direct lines downward. A ring-shaped structure must handle forces differently. Loads and tensions move along curves instead of straight paths. This makes balancing the building a serious challenge. Engineers solve this problem by using a diagonal grid structure. This grid spreads the weight evenly across the entire ring. The pattern is both practical and beautiful. It allows the structure to stand firm while maintaining its graceful shape. Beijing's anti-gravity pants and the artificial mountain. In the heart of Beijing stands a building that people both love and hate at the same time. Many call it the Big Pants because of its unusual shape. Technically, it is a continuous three-dimensional loop. The structure is formed by two tall towers that lean outward at 6 degrees in each direction. These towers rise into the sky and then meet at the top through a 75-meter cantilevered section. That upper connection stretches across space in a way that seems to defy gravity. It looks bold, dramatic, and almost impossible. What makes this construction truly frightening is the way it was built. The two towers were not constructed as one single piece. They were built separately. Each tower rose on its own, leaning outward as planned. At the top, they had to meet perfectly in midair. The connection required millimeter precision. Even the smallest mistake would have caused serious problems. The engineers faced a huge challenge because steel expands when it becomes warm. If the joining had happened later in the day, the heat from the sun would have caused the steel to expand. That tiny expansion would have been enough to ruin the alignment. To avoid this, the final joining took place at dawn. In the cool morning air, before the sun could heat the metal, the pieces were connected with exact accuracy. The building does not try to hide how hard it works to stand. Its facade openly shows the areas where the structure carries the greatest stress. The outer grid pattern changes across the surface. Where the grid becomes denser, it marks the zones where the building faces the highest structural pressure. In those areas, the building is working the hardest to remain upright. Instead of covering up this effort, the design makes it visible. The structure proudly displays its engineering logic. It is bold and confident, almost aggressive in the way it presents itself. The design speaks clearly about strength and balance. Even before it was completed, the building endured powerful natural forces. It survived earthquakes and typhoons during construction. Despite these challenges, it remained standing. Its survival strengthened its reputation as a daring piece of engineering. The entire structure feels like a statement of confidence. It challenges gravity and shows no fear. It stands as a symbol of structural ambition taken to an extreme. Not far away, another project in China presents a completely different but equally dramatic vision. This one is often described as an artificial mountain. China already has many famous mountains, yet this project brings the idea of mountains into the city itself. From a distance, the complex does not look like a group of buildings. Instead, it appears like a range of snow-capped peaks and glaciers rising from the urban ground. The architect behind this vision is Ma Yansong. His design blends traditional Shanshui philosophy with advanced modern technology. Shanshui means mountain and water. It is a classical Chinese idea that values harmony between nature and human life. In this project, that philosophy is brought into a contemporary setting. The buildings do not follow the usual straight lines and sharp edges seen in many modern cities. Instead, they flow and curve like natural forms. The white curved lines of the balconies and facades are carefully shaped. These curves are not random. They are designed to break up the heavy appearance of the concrete blocks beneath them. The smooth white layers create the illusion of geological erosion. They resemble natural rock formations, shaped over time by wind and water. The surfaces seem soft and layered, even though they are made from strong materials like glass and white aluminum composite. Walking between these buildings creates a special experience. The space feels like a canyon carved by nature. However, it is a canyon formed by architecture. Glass surfaces reflect light, while white aluminum panels catch shadows. The pathways curve gently, guiding movement in a way that feels organic. The atmosphere is very different from the rigid feeling of standard rectangular buildings. This project rejects the idea of the simple modern shoebox structure. It pushes against that tradition and offers something more fluid and expressive. Technology plays a key role in making this artificial mountain function properly. Every curve in the design was carefully calculated. The shapes are not only beautiful, but also practical. They help create microclimates within the complex. The arrangement of surfaces and openings guides airflow naturally. This movement of air cools the area without depending heavily on air conditioning systems. In this way, advanced engineering supports the appearance of nature. The project uses technology to imitate natural systems on a massive scale. The result is organic architecture taken to an extreme. The buildings do not simply copy nature in appearance. They attempt to recreate natural experiences within an urban environment. The flowing lines, layered facades, and carefully planned air circulation all work together. The complex feels alive, shaped by forces similar to those that shape real mountains. China's boldest architectural wonders. Number 7. The Waterfall Building. This place represents pure extravagance in modern architecture. Imagine looking at your office skyscraper and deciding it feels too ordinary. Instead of changing the design slightly, you add a 108-meter waterfall flowing down the front of the building. That is exactly what was done. This Libyan building features the tallest artificial waterfall in the world, pouring down one side of its facade. It is not a digital display or a light projection. It is real water moving from top to bottom in a powerful continuous stream. And to make this possible, the system depends on 4 massive 185 kilowatt pumps. These pumps push water all the way up to the top before gravity sends it rushing back down. The engineering behind this is not simple. Lifting that much water to such a height requires serious power. In fact, just turning the waterfall on costs around $120 per hour in electricity. Because of this high cost, the waterfall is not kept running all the time. It is activated only on special occasions. Many people have criticized the project. They see it as a waste of energy and question whether such a feature is necessary. From their point of view, spending so much electricity on a decorative waterfall seems excessive. Yet, when you look at it from an engineering perspective, it becomes something remarkable. Designing a waterfall of this size on a vertical surface is not easy. Engineers had to make sure that the water falling from such a height would not damage the pavement below. They created dampening systems to soften the impact when the water hits the ground. Without these systems, the constant force could slowly destroy the surrounding area. Another major concern was pedestrian safety. A waterfall of this size creates mist and spray. If not controlled properly, people walking nearby could be soaked or even knocked off balance by strong splashes. The design had to carefully manage the flow of water so that it would remain impressive but controlled. The result is a building that makes a bold statement. It is the perfect example of building something not because it is necessary, but because it is possible and affordable for those who want to make an impact. Now, move from water to ice. The Ice Opera House in Harbin stands in a city known for its extreme cold. Harbin is often called the City of Ice. Temperatures there can drop to minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. In such conditions, many buildings focus simply on survival. They are designed to block out the cold and protect the inside from the harsh weather. But this structure takes a different approach. Instead of fighting the environment, the architects embraced it. Designed by mad architects, the building looks as if it was shaped by polar winds. Its form is smooth and flowing. The exterior is covered in white aluminum, giving it the appearance of snow or ice. The shape is sinuous, without sharp angles, and it blends gently into the snowy landscape around it. When you look at it from a distance, it does not feel like a heavy structure placed on the ground. It feels like part of the natural environment. One of the most impressive features is the skin of the building. It is covered with thousands of pyramidal aluminum panels. These panels are not only decorative, they serve an important purpose. Their shape prevents snow and ice from building up on the surface. In a place where heavy snowfall is common, this design protects the structure beneath. Snow slides off instead of collecting, which helps maintain the building's strength and appearance. There is no clear line separating the roof from the walls. The entire structure flows as one continuous mass. This seamless design makes the building look like a single sculpted form, rather than a collection of separate parts. It feels organic, almost alive, shaped by nature, even though it is carefully engineered. Step inside, and the atmosphere changes completely. While the exterior is cool and white, the interior is warm and inviting. The main material used inside is Manchurian ash wood. The wood is shaped in soft, curved forms that resemble the inside of a giant musical instrument. The warmth of the wood contrasts beautifully with the icy exterior. It creates a feeling of comfort and intimacy. The acoustics inside the opera house are flawless. The design allows sound to travel clearly and evenly throughout the space. Performers do not need microphones to be heard. The architecture itself supports the music, making every note pure and powerful. This careful attention to sound quality shows that beauty and function can exist together in perfect harmony. The Ice Opera House is considered one of the most beautiful buildings of the 21st century. It demonstrates that modern Chinese technology is not only about massive structures or strict, heavy designs. It can also be poetic and graceful. It proves that advanced engineering can create spaces that inspire emotion as well as admiration. From waterfalls flowing down skyscrapers to hotels buried inside quarries, China has shown that traditional blueprints are no longer enough for its ambitions. The country is building landscapes that look like scenes from video games and calling them cities. These projects push boundaries and challenge expectations. They move beyond simple practicality and enter the world of spectacle and imagination. While many Western countries may spend 20 years debating whether to approve bold architectural ideas, China often completes them in just 24 months. The speed and scale are astonishing. These buildings are not small experiments. They are massive, complex structures that require careful planning, advanced technology, and significant investment.